Hello everyone and welcome to Stay for Nature. My name is Esther and this channel is about Cardano ecosystem and environmental organizations. They fight against climate change, protect endangered species and reduce plastic waste. Today, we have a special guest who will explain to us about Woodlands and Wetlands Trust Organization. She will also tell us about the Spotted-tailed Quail project, which Stay for Nature is involved in as a partnership.
The Woodlands and Wetlands Trust, it was set up about 6 years ago, and our mission is to engage the community and attract resources, do fundraising, communications around two amazing reserves in Canberra, the Mulligan's Flat Woodland Sanctuary where we are today, and also Jerrabomberra Wetlands. We have a massive job to do to reach out to the community and inspire them to care about our unique Australian wildlife. A lot of species have gone extinct in Australia, and what we're trying to do is show the community that there is another way, that there is positive options in conservation. What we want to do is really reconnect the community with their wildlife. We want to showcase, we want to bring the community in, we want to have them reconnect with Australian nature so that they see for themselves how amazing it is, and then they're inspired to care, and then they go home and make different choices about how they impact on the environment and how they can support conservation.
Hello, Lauren, and thank you so much for your time and being here today with us. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us about the organization? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. Well, thank you very much for getting in touch with us and supporting our organisation. My name is Lauren Brown. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the Woodlands and Wetlands Trust here in Canberra. The Trust looks after two sites in Canberra, and that one is Mulligan's Flat Woodland Sanctuary, which we'll be talking more about today. And the other site we help look after is the Jerrabomberra Wetlands. So yeah, I've been with the Trust for almost 2 years now.
Could you tell us a little bit about the organization?
Yeah, sure. So the Mulligan's Flat, which is the main one we'll be talking about today, it's about almost 1,300 hectares of what's known as a critically endangered community, which is the boxgum grassy woodland. Mulligan's Flat was formed as two nature reserves many years ago. It was identified as a really unique spot in Canberra for wildlife and some particular birds. It became, first of all, a nature reserve, which most Canberrans will be familiar with. We have many nature reserves around Canberra. So it became protected through being a nature reserve, but it started to get known for this beautiful boxgum grassy woodland, and we wanted to protect that even further. So Sanctuary was established, and the first what we call a predator-proof fence went up about 2009, so a bit over 10 years ago. That predator-proof fence surrounds about 485 hectares, so it's quite big. And just about 2 years ago, the second fence went up to connect. They're connected, but it surrounds about 800 hectares. So in total, it's almost 1,300 hectares. Many people will probably have heard of predator-proof sanctuaries. They are becoming more popular with local governments around Australia. Ours is pretty unique because it is right on the edge of Canberra. So it's really right on the edge of an urban city. Predator-proof sanctuaries are, quite remote. So it has a very special connection in that way because we are very close to the community. So basically the way it was established, it became a partnership. So the local Parks and Conservation team manage the land. It's a local, the ACT government own the land. The ANU is our research partner, and the trust is formed to become kind of the science communicators of the sanctuary. So there's the box-gum grassy woodland across Australia has diminished a lot since Europeans colonised Australia.
Yes.
So yeah, it's become degraded through farming, urbanisation, people clearing wood, burning firewood, and feral pests.
Yeah.
So this stand, this 1,300 hectares, was noticed that it was degraded. It needed to be protected. So the first thing they had to do once the fence went up was to get rid of the feral species in Australia, fox and rabbits.
Okay.
And hares that really big bunnies. So that was the first thing that had to happen. And the idea behind that is so we could reintroduce species that existed in Australia long before Europeans arrived. But what happened, they were either hunted for their skins or for food, or they were considered a pest in some way. And they were killed by foxes. So it's a few species that have been reintroduced that we can talk more about, but basically they're extinct on mainland Australia. They were species that you can only now find in the wild in Tasmania.
Just only in Tasmania. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing. These species play a critical role in the restoration of this box-gum grassy land.
Good. Would you like to tell us a little bit how important community or Aboriginal people and their culture is in this project, and what role do they play as a community?
Yeah, so we work, the Mulligan's Flat Woodlands Sanctuary is on Ngunnawal land.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that we have some really wonderful Ngunnawal people that we talk to, and they're involved in our ranger program as well. So there's traditional practices that are ongoing within land around Canberra owned by the ACT government. Mulligan's Flat in particular was actually a meeting place area for the Ngunnawal people.
Okay.
It was a very important area, and there's a song line, what they call a song line, that travels through Mulligan's Flat. It was, if you've been there, it was...
I've been there more than a couple of times. It's so close to my house, and it's so beautiful area. Yeah, so...
You're lucky to, I think people love living in Gungahlin to be near Mulligan's and the suburbs surrounding it. You can walk out your back door and straight. Yeah. It's open 24 hours a day. It's a very unique opportunity.
It's unique, really. I fall in love when I show this sanctuary and say, oh, goodness, so beautiful.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. Yeah. I know. I love getting to go. I was out there today. I was out there on the weekend looking for echidnas. It's raining.
They are so cute. I record a couple of them last time that I was there. So cute.
They're very cheeky, but you know what? We were trying to find them on the weekend. It's rainy, and they were really hard to find. So they know how to hide when they don't want to be found. But
well, so what about the community and Aboriginal? You said before it's important.
So there's some cultural sites within Mulligan's Flat, and there's evidence of I've done some wonderful cultural tours with a man called Richie Allen, who's a local lawman, and he has shown us ring trees that are 100 years old. Ring trees helped them navigate across the land. They twisted branches, and that would then show them the direction to go. There's a water tank tree in Mulligan's Flat where it's manipulated to have store water for them. Stone tools have been found in Mulligan's Flat. And as you know, it's sort of there's a lot of water that goes through Mulligan's as well. So it would have been an area where they camped and they met. So we're lucky to share that journey with them. And I should have started at the beginning of this. We do acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're on today, and recognise that they have played a really important role, and we follow their footsteps every day.
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. As you said before, you are working on a wonderful project called the Spotted Tail Quail Release. So we, Stake for Nature, will donate the total cost of this project. Could you tell us about it, about the project, where these funds will be used, please?
Yeah, I'd love to tell you. And it is a super exciting project. And I might start with a little bit of background about the other animals in Mulligans, because as you know, you can go and protect one species, like a zoo can go and protect and do breeding programs. But to protect an entire ecosystem is very different. And that's what we're doing at Mulligans Flat. So everything's connected. So I'll talk to you about two of the animals that were first reintroduced, and then I'll talk to you about the spotted tail quail.
Yes.
So the eastern betong, now these are the two animals, the eastern betong and the eastern quail are the ones that in the wild, they're only in the wild in Tasmania. So the eastern betong is looks like a small kangaroo, but yeah, they're really small, like they're maybe about 2 kilos. Yep, so they're like really tiny.
I didn't know.
About like a kangaroo. Now they're so important because they're called ecosystem engineers. There's a few animals that sort of fall under this category, and it's because they dig. Okay, so they're changing the structure of the dirt and the environment, and they dig because they want to eat native truffles, and native truffles grow under some eucalypts. So they dig to eat these kind of tubers, and it's a fungus, and so then their spores get on their face and come out in their poo, and they spread all the fungus around. But that fungus has a symbiotic relationship and helps make healthy trees. The betongs are helping to disperse this and create a healthy environment. You know, the box gum grassy woodlands with the great. Here they are spreading.
The circle.
They're digging, big circle. And the digging creates, lets the water in, and it lets the seeds for another tree grow. So they're called an ecosystem engineer. So that's why they were reintroduced, because the project is about, restoring this whole sanctuary through creating, you know, an effective ecosystem. And these animals lived there. When the Ngunnawal people were here, these animals were everywhere. There's reports of them, you know, having betongs as pets, basically, trained them. So then the eastern quail, so they're carnivorous. The eastern quail, they're smaller than a cat.
They are like a hunter, no? Carnivore.
They're a hunter, they're carnivorous, maybe like, half the size of a cat. And they've got spots on them. They're really beautiful animals. And I'm sure we can send you some photos.
Yes, please.
So they're there to, they eat like insects and beetles and bugs and probably some reptiles, things like that.
So a small insect. Amphib.
So they do that. So they are a predator to some animals, but they're not very big. So they wouldn't eat a possum. They wouldn't eat a wallaby or a kangaroo. They're only little. So along comes the idea for a spotted tail quail. Now, a spotted-tailed quail is spotty like the eastern quails, but he's got spots all the way down his tail, and he's a lot bigger. He's like a really big cat. So,
like a 5-kilo cat? Or?
I think so, yeah, pretty big. So they're related to Tasmanian devils. Their bite is the second strongest bite. Tassie devils have the strongest.
Good to know that.
They are pretty big bite, very strong. Yeah, you wouldn't want to get your fingers near them. So the idea, as I've been talking about, is everything is related. And so spotted-tailed quolls are known as an apex predator. So they're right at the top with some other predators. And in this environment, spotted-tailed quolls are still on mainland Australia in the wild. So there's some around the Blue Mountains, I think down like near Cooma Way. Because they're bigger, they wouldn't be as easy for a fox to eat. A fox can eat the betongs, they can eat the quolls. Spotted-tailed quolls are pretty big. Yeah. So the idea we had was to help that ecosystem and to help manage some of the other animals was to introduce an apex predator. And so we found these two boys. At the moment, they're called Sid and Boof. One day maybe they'll have proper names, but basically we have they've been desexed, so they're not breeding animals. As Mulligan's is such a research, like an outdoor laboratory, the idea is to see how they go and see if they can help us manage our possum numbers mainly. Our possums, I love possums and everyone loves possums, but they have no predators in the sanctuary. And we can't allow, animals to overpopulate. So we had to think of something to come and, even things out. So these spotted-tailed quolls, they're pretty big. They could definitely take down a possum, and they could maybe even help manage the wallabies. We're not sure.
Okay.
So,
and why two male?
I'm not sure why the two males, except that it wasn't easy for us to source some animals. And I think that's what we found. They actually came over on a plane from Western Australia. Okay. So they have kind of been raised in captivity, but not like a zoo situation so much. But in a way, they have been around humans. So it will be, interesting to see how they go, because they have been in captivity. So at some point, they're going to have to go out and fend for themselves. And that leads me to, where your funds will be going. So we've had to purchase 2 collars, and the collars will go next. And that will enable us to drive around the sanctuary with a radio tracker and start seeing where these boys are living, how far they move at night. It's possible because they're pretty big. We're wondering, will they escape the fence?
Maybe they are able to jump or to clean.
Yeah, they're big, but it's got very strong electrics on it. So I don't know. The radio trackers will tell us if they escape. Yeah. So we'll find them outside the sanctuary. Hopefully not.
No, finger crossed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's kind of can we keep spotted-tailed quolls in the sanctuary? We don't know. We haven't done it before. Or will they jump out? So yeah, your funds will help us to do that. And some of the funds will also help us train some volunteers. Basically, back to community. We love at Mulligan's, we're a very small team, and we rely very heavily on volunteers. And we have about 10 volunteers that have a level of experience already, perhaps with handling wildlife in some way, that we will train to help us when we might do some trapping nights, or we'll be driving around radio tracking them. And so we are very thankful for your funds that came at the
thank you. No, we are thankful for your job, really. We do believe in your mission and vision and all your job in the sanctuary. So it's really amazing. Really, thank you so much, Lauren.
You're very welcome.
Oh, come on. Thank you again, really kindly, for your time. It has been very informative and enrichment, this talk with you. So would you like, I don't know, do you have any final comments? Would you like to add something more?
Only if people are interested. I'm happy to answer any questions if you get them. If you live in Canberra, I can just say get out there and have a look and maybe hop on one of our twilight tours, and that's where you'll see some of these animals in the flesh jumping around. So
yeah, of course. I will anyway. I will put all your information and links for this amazing organization in our website and also in the description of this video. So all the information and links for your amazing project is gonna be here for our viewers. So thank you so much, Lauren, for your time again.
No worries. Thanks, Esther. Thank you.